guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another Real Housewives of Atlanta season 12 review. This review is for episode 16, and let's just dive right into this review because so much went down in this episode and there's a lot that I want to touch on. So it's Eva's baby shower, and it's really cute. It's a sunflower theme. I love the way everyone was dressed. I love the way it was decorated. I think Cynthia and Eva's friend Natasha did a really great job decorating, and I love that everyone wore sunflowers in their hair. It was just a really cute setup, and Eva was very thankful for the fact that Cynthia had helped set up her baby shower and is hosting it, because her and Cynthia were not cool when Eva first joined the cast of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. She took a lot of shots at Cynthia being an older model, and they kind of seemed like they were competing at some points in the show of who was the better model. So I like now that the two of them are cool with each other. I really do like their friendship. Now, Portia, Nene, and Tanya end up showing up first, and Nene takes shots at Eva, which I did not like because her and Eva had squashed their beef in Toronto, and I felt like, Nene was wrong for the shots that she took at Eva. She had made a comment that, the baby shower wasn't held at Eva's house and that nobody knows where Eva lives at. Nobody has seen Eva's house since she's been a part of the cast. And she was saying that the only thing she knows about where Eva lives is that she moves from box to box, okay? She didn't say from house to house. She said from box to box. And I was not feeling Nene's comments because of the fact that her and Eva had just squashed the beef. And it's the girl's baby shower. It's like, do you really have to throw shade at her in this type of situation? It's like, why did you even show up to her baby shower then? If that's the way that you feel about her, maybe you could have just sent a card or maybe just a gift and not have shown up at all. Now, they start recapping what happened at couples night, and Tanya talks about the fact that she didn't go because Kenya made it seem like she was not able to go without Paul, which Kenya did that on purpose because a couple of the ladies showed up without their men because their men were out of town. And so, Kenya just did that to Tanya because she didn't want Tanya to be there. But Tanya should not be surprised about that because her and Kenya are not getting along right now. Although I do think that, Kenya was being petty when that happened. Now, Nene was talking about how Mark calls Kenya Ken, and then they were all talking about how Kenya is submissive when it comes to Mark. Now, I don't feel like her submissiveness to Mark is genuine, only because the fact that she's kind of forced to be submissive to him because she doesn't want to trigger him. She doesn't want to piss him off and she doesn't want to argue, so she's kind of forced to be that way when it comes to him. I don't think there's anything wrong with being submissive to the right guy, but it seems like, she's forced to do that when it comes to Mark just because she doesn't want to anger him. Kenya does end up showing up to the baby shower, and it's really awkward when she walks in because the ladies were literally just talking shit about her a few seconds before she walked in. And she makes a comment about how Mark got mad at her because she didn't have food for him. And Tanya made a comment that that's what you're supposed to do for your man. And she kind of said, like, that's what she does for Paul. She always makes sure there's food for Paul. And, Kenya clapped back in her interview and said that if she feeds Paul so well, then why is he always out looking for cookies? Now, I thought that was a clever clap back, but I said before that I do not agree with Kenya bringing that cookie lady to Tanya for her to stir up that trouble. I don't think that was a good idea, but I do think that Kenya had a really good clap back at Tanya. Now, Kandi ends up showing up last, and they start playing baby shower games where they have to drink all the juice out of the bottle. Shamia ends up winning that, although everybody thought that either Kandi or Portia was going to win that because of obviously nasty reasons, okay? And, then they did this thing where they had to dress the ladies up in, toilet paper dresses, and Kenya's ended up winning, which Kenya did have the nicer dress, but some of the ladies were not happy that Kenya won just because of the fact that they don't like Kenya, which was definitely immature. Kenya's dress definitely was better, but at the same time, there's so much tension with the ladies. I thought that they did the best that they could with trying to be cordial with one another at Eva's baby shower. At the end of the baby shower, Kandi asks Kenya and Tanya to talk, and she brings up to Tanya that, Mark is throwing a charity event and he wants everyone to come, and she feels like Kenya and Tanya should drop their beef just for the sake of the charity event. And so, Kenya ends up saying that she will drop it with Tanya for the sake of the charity event and that Mark is doing something important for young black men. And so she feels like it would be a good idea if Tanya and Paul ended up coming. Now, I do like the way that Tanya handled it because she said that, she will bring it to Paul's attention, but she does not think that Paul will come because of what Kenya pulled with that whole cookie lady, which I don't think that which Kenya did get annoyed that Tanya said that Paul probably won't come because of what Kenya did with the cookie lady, and Kenya made it seem like it wasn't a big deal, so she doesn't understand why Paul wouldn't come. And it's like, Paul is not going to come because you just tried to mess with his relationship, even though he probably is guilty of what that cookie lady said that he did. He probably was flirting with that lady and trying to pick her up, but the way that Kenya went about the whole thing, I think was really messy. And so I can understand why Paul would not want to come. And so I don't think that Kenya understands that, you know, you can't do stuff like that to people and then expect for them to just drop it just because you apologize, because Kenya didn't apologize for bringing that cookie lady to Tanya's face. She apologized for calling Tanya the C word. And so I just don't get that whole situation. I don't think Tanya's going to end up coming, but we'll see what ends up happening with that. Now, Kenya did a lot helping Mark with this charity event, and not once in this episode did I see him say thank you to her at all. Kenya has been helping him plan everything, okay? She got the catering, she got the security, she did the walkthrough and the seating chart, and on top of that, she also was the one who was able to get Mike to actually host the event. So I honestly am, you know, a little bit disgusted at the fact that, you know, Mark didn't once say thank you to Kenya. Because at one point, you know, she had got him his outfit, okay? Which I don't know why she has to pick out Mark's outfit, but she came with his suit, okay? And she came with socks and a tie for him. Now, he didn't have a problem with the socks. He said that the socks were okay, but he did not like the ties that she got. And he didn't even say thank you not one time for that. I thought that he was being really nasty with the way that he went about that whole thing. I think that, you know, I don't know. I just feel like Kenya, she's damned if she does, she's damned if she doesn't. Because at the end of the day, no matter if she doesn't run her mouth, no matter what she does, if she's there for him, if she's submissive to him, at the end of the day, he seems like he's just not interested in her. And so no matter what she does, he's never going to be satisfied with it. And like she said that she feels like, you know, he feels like he's entitled to her help. And she said that she doesn't mind helping him, but it would be nice to be appreciated for the help that she does do. Which, like I said before, not one time did he say thank you to her or that he appreciated her in any way, shape, or form. Now, she ended up showing him her dress, okay? She pulls out the dress and it matches his suit, and he basically said in so many words that he did not like her dress and he didn't understand why they needed to match each other, which they don't have to match each other, but it is cute to match one another. He didn't even tell her the dress was nice or anything like that. He basically in so many words said that he did not like it. And then on top of that, he said that he had made changes to the seating chart that Kenya had put together, and Kenya was bothered by him changing the seating around because she was trying to make sure that the people in the group were all seated together. And she feels like, you know, Mark should have consulted with her before changing the seating chart. But she ended up just giving in and telling him that it was fine that he did it because she saw that he was starting to get agitated and she didn't want to anger him because she doesn't want to argue. She said that basically she just keeps her mouth shut because of the fact that she does not want him to get mad at her, because every time she voices her opinion to him, it turns into an argument. Now, she ends up going to get ready for the charity event, and as she closes the door, she whispers that he's an a-hole, okay? And he did not hear it, but I thought it was funny that she did that because he was acting like an asshole. Kandi is practicing for her audition for the show The Shy, okay? And she's playing this masculine female character, and she wants to try to practice for it as best as she can because of the fact that the character is so opposite from herself. And so she was trying. It wasn't coming out so well, but maybe she got a little nervous because all the cameras were there and the fact that Don Juan and her other friend were there watching her and critiquing her on it. That probably made her a bit nervous. I feel like she needs to just focus, maybe do the practice thing maybe in the mirror to herself just to see how she does, because I feel like if she thinks too much into it and she gets way too nervous and gets in her own head, she may not do so well when it comes to the audition. Now, there's a nudity scene, okay, that she has to do, but it's with another woman, so they asked her if Todd is okay with it, and obviously she said Todd was okay with it because it was with another woman, not with a man. If it was a man, it would have been a different story. Now, the problem with the whole audition for this show is that if she actually gets the role on the show, the filming process is going to be in Chicago around the time that her baby is due. And so she's nervous about that. I feel like her and Todd kind of put work above everything else. And they need to learn how to work that out because they need to learn how to balance those things out. And so, you know, hopefully they get everything ready for their baby to come because the baby can come at any moment. So let's talk about this conversation that Kenya and Cynthia had. Kenya had ended up going to visit Cynthia at her house, and Cynthia wanted to talk to one of her friends about what's going on in her relationship with Mike, because the two of them have been arguing lately, and I feel like Cynthia is not being completely honest about what's triggering her insecurities in that relationship, because before she seemed confident in her relationship with Mike, and I don't feel like she really thought about him cheating on her. But it was after she met his female friends that's when she started getting insecure in the relationship. And I feel like, she needs to be honest with him that she's uncomfortable with the fact that he has all female friends and lots of them and only 2 male friends. She's probably uncomfortable with that, especially because she said that she feels like they're all very good looking women. And now that she's getting into his book and his female friends were telling her all about, him being a ladies' man and all that shit like that, that obviously made her uncomfortable, which would make any female uncomfortable, okay? And so now she's starting to read his book and she's finding out more and more about him, but I feel like he seems to have been open about everything, okay? She knew about his cheating before she was pressuring him to marry her, so I think that, she just got insecure when she met all his female friends. Now, I don't understand why Kenya was trying to compare her relationship with Mark to Cynthia's relationship with Mike, because in my opinion, they're nothing like each other. Mark does not act like he likes Kenya at all, rather than he never even acts like he loves Kenya, okay? He acts like all he loves is that baby. He doesn't want anything to do with Kenya, in my opinion. He's not affectionate to her at all. Mike is definitely affectionate to Cynthia. He likes being with Cynthia. He's not afraid to, show PDA with Cynthia. And I just feel like there's a difference in the dynamic of the two relationships, okay? So Kenya was basically getting into her problems with Mark. She was saying that, basically the key to keeping them two from arguing is for her to avoid triggers for Mark. She knows all his triggers, and so she knows what not to say to him because she knows he'll get pissed off, which is basically nothing. Basically, she can't say anything to him because he's going to get mad at her. The only thing she can say is that she agrees with him on something, okay? Other than that, he gets pissed off and mad because he doesn't genuinely like Kenya. He doesn't want to be with her. He doesn't love her. Nothing. You can already tell, and I feel like Kenya knows deep down inside that he doesn't want to be with her. Now, she said that she can't even remember the last time he apologized to her in the almost 3 years that they were together. She said that he apologized to her one time, and that was it. And so, Cynthia quickly jumps in and says, well, that's not Mike. Mike apologizes to me whenever he feels like he did something wrong to me. So they're not the same. She was like, girl, my man is not the same as yours, which I don't think they're the same either at all, okay? Now, Kenya tried to say, take Mike off the table, okay? But any man who cheats and cheats multiple times on the women that they're with aren't good guys. So basically she was talking about Mike when she was saying that, because Mike is a serial cheater and he admits to have been a serial cheater. And Cynthia seemed like she didn't take offense to it. She did say that her and Mike agreed to do premarital counseling. Kenya got a bit emotional for a second during this scene, and I do feel bad for her because I do feel like she wants to make the relationship work, but she doesn't feel like Mark wants to. And it is embarrassing too because it's being played out on national television. So it's the night of Mark's charity event, and Mike and Cynthia end up showing up first because Mike is the one who's hosting the event. Now, Mark does end up showing up shortly after Mike and Cynthia, and he slips right past the two of them and goes and greets all the other people at the event before he greets the two of them. And Cynthia felt some type of way about it. She thought it was rude that he did it. It could have been rude, but I really didn't think it was that big of a deal because he did end up going to greet them. I don't know why she thought that he had to greet them first. But maybe she just really doesn't like Mark because of the way that he treats Kenya. Now, Eva and her husband, Michael, end up showing up, and it's awkward between Michael and Mark for a moment because Mark brought up that he had tried to get in contact with Michael, but Michael was not getting back to him, and so Michael apologized to him, and Mark seemed like he wasn't too bothered by it, but he did ask Michael to give a speech at his charity event, and, Michael felt some type of way about that in a sense because usually when you ask somebody to, do a speech at your event, you give them, a few days or weeks notice before they do it so that they can plan and prep for that. You just wanted him to do it right off the fly, and so everybody kind of felt uncomfortable that he was asking everyone to do a speech without giving them notice that they had to actually do a speech. So this whole scene was awkward between Mark and Kenya the entire time. She had called him and told him that she was outside and if he was going to come out there and escort her in. Not one time did he tell her that she looked nice. And, he got a little bit annoyed with her because the security was outside instead of inside of the building, which he could have just told the guy he can go inside. He didn't have to get annoyed about that. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. He doesn't even try to force it. He doesn't even try to act like he's interested in Kenya at this point. He kind of doesn't hide it at all. Now, Portia and Tanya end up showing up together because Tanya said that she didn't even bother telling Paul about it, which I can understand why she doesn't want Paul to be there anywhere around Kenya because of what he did. But I don't even think Tanya should have showed up anyway, because she should have known that it was going to be awkward between her and Kenya, which it absolutely was, because when Portia tried to get Tanya to sit in Shamia's seat because Shamia and her husband were not able to come, Kenya quickly goes over there and tells Tanya that she needs to go sit in her rightful seat because 2 other people were going to be sitting there, which 2 other people were not going to be sitting there. She just didn't want Tanya sitting where she wanted to sit at, which I was a bit annoyed by Kenya because I feel like sometimes she does too much. I feel like she doesn't always have to be mean to somebody every single time she's feeling some type of way, because really her anger is towards Mark, but she can't take it out on Mark, so she takes it out on other people. So the episode cut there. I thought it was a very telling episode. I thought it was a really good episode. I was not surprised that Kenya and Mark ended up filing for a divorce because clearly that relationship wasn't going anywhere. No amount of counseling or anything was going to save that marriage. I don't know if they're divorced yet or if they're even still in the process of a divorce. But I guess we'll have to find out while we watch the rest of the season. They showed clips of the next episode where the girls are going to Greece. And basically the ladies say that they're not going to show any remorse for Kenya because of the fact that they had filed for a divorce right before they were going to Greece. So I'm interested to see what ends up happening in the next episode. So let me know what you thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos. And thank you to all my subscribers for the support. I'm getting closer and closer to reaching my goal every day. And I want to thank you all for that. And until next time, I will see you guys in my next video.